Everybody out here be sharing their business, sharing too much about themselves, and I'm included. I used to do that. But I want you to know this. You have to protect your energy. You have to protect yourself, and you have to protect um, your plans. Sometimes you got to protect what God has for you, and not overshare it. Because if you just go and give it away, well, or you don't want to cheapen your struggles. You don't want to cheapen your life story. You don't want to cheapen your testimonies, by telling the wrong people. And you don't want to cheapen your blessings by sharing them with the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? Oversharing is a problem. Um, it's a big problem. And I used to have the same problem. I'm working on setting boundaries. And I'm going to set boundaries without any regret. I'm going to set boundaries and I'm going to be rewarded for setting these boundaries because I'm not going to lose my blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important to set boundaries, especially with new people, especially with friends you haven't been talking to for very long. And even with your family members and even with your loved ones. Number one thing that I didn't know is as a child of God, you shouldn't be sharing anything really to the outside world, to the public, about who you plan on marrying. Honestly, you shouldn't, because this world is just full of wolves in sheep's clothing. Jealous exes, jealous people, just jealousy everywhere, envy everywhere, lonely people everywhere. Don't share. Just like be careful on what you share. You know, I'm gonna start giving advice. I'm gonna give this advice for free. But as far as talking about my life and what I'm doing, I'm gonna do better. I'm not going to share. I'm gonna remain just kind of mysterious. That's what I'm gonna do. I should have always remained mysterious or almost like anonymous. But you know what? I don't care if people know who I am. I'm just gonna tell you this. I'm setting a boundary on all of y'all, on everybody. You're not gonna know my business, and you're not gonna know my personal business or what I'm doing, or who I'm with and stuff like that. You don't need to know. And I want you guys to know this. You need to set your own boundaries and respect other people's boundaries. Boundaries are important. You can't go through life without boundaries. You know what I'm saying? You can't be trusting a stranger. You can't be trusting these people because there's people that try. You give them an inch, they try and take a mile. I've met people like that. I've been betrayed by people who pretending to be my friend, pretending to be like family, just to try and steal. So it's really important to set boundaries. Okay? Don't cheapen your testimonies. Don't cheapen your experience. Don't cheapen your relationships by sharing. Don't cheapen yourself by sharing things that you shouldn't share. With great power comes great responsibility. So just, be careful what you share on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I had a mistake. I was going through a problem with my mind. My mind was playing tricks on me. And I started sharing too much. You know what I'm saying? And that was bad. So don't be like me, man. Don't overshare. What you should do is um, have clear boundaries. Um, Write in a journal and be like, I'm gonna set boundaries here. I'm gonna set boundaries there. Um, think about like a friend trying to stay over, but you got work the next day. But they're trying to stay over at your house, right? Till 10 p.m. Till 10 p.m. and or 11 or 12, right? And you have work in the morning. Well, what's the best thing you can do is set a boundary beforehand. Let them know, hey, you can kick it for a few hours, but you gotta leave at 10 because I have work the next day, or you gotta leave at 8, whatever time. Set a boundary, and set a boundary around your relationships. Set boundaries in your friendships too, and in your relationships. You got to, because if you don't, you're gonna hurt yourself. You end up hurting yourself or cheapening things in yourself. cheapening your stuff, cheapening your story. Don't cheapen your own story. You know what I'm saying? By giving it out to just anybody. Can't just give out your life story to anybody. You know what I mean? Because some people will take your life story and then they'll try and weasel their way into getting to know you and using you. Because that's what a lot of people do. There's a lot of narcissists out here that try to use people. They try to take your story and use it. So here's what I'm going to say is set boundaries. Don't overshare. You know, you don't have to tell everybody your business. So that's why I'm out here telling y'all, be careful with who you share and what you share. And set boundaries around your relationships, especially your significant other or whoever you're dating. Set boundaries there, because sometimes you don't want to tell your family. Sometimes you don't want to tell your family. Sometimes you don't want to share what's going on. Like, I feel like I would have been better off if I hadn't shared certain things. You know what I mean? But I'm a young man, and I didn't know what I was doing. Now I know better. There's certain things you should not share. There's certain things you should not post on social media. But a lot of people just go crazy and they just go and post whatever they want and they share everything about themselves. And then they end up getting themselves in trouble. So let's not be fools. Let's not overshare. Let's not be fools. Especially the people who the dudes that make music and they tell on themselves like every crime they ever committed. You know, that stuff's stupid. So anyways, I'm gonna leave it with that. Set boundaries. Don't be ashamed to set boundaries. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. It's hard to set them when you love somebody, but trust me, it's one of the best things you can do to protect yourself. Set a line in the sand somewhere. Peace.